Hello, my dear friend. Allah Apa. My name is Abbas Taimuri. Time is 7:44. Today's Christmas Day, 25th. I wasn't going to make this videos, but on the last video about the summary of my mission, basically folding it and let it go, I received a lot of comments from two individuals. Astonishing, actually, at this age, at this time. One of them comes from a fellow. He says his name is Farid. It's a Persian name. If my divine assistant's helping me out properly, I would think I know this guy. He's a tall guy. I like him very much, if he's the one. He's around 40 some years old, and I even know his uncle, a very respected Baha'i. So there's bunch of comments that he has made. I put it on the paper, ready for you. So Ontario, Farid, 14 hours ago. Comment 1. After the passing of Shoghi Effendi, as far as I know, for a few years, there was no universal laws of justice. Where were these elders? Why they did not show up and guide or establish guardianship? Baha'is didn't have the cause of God, waited 5 years and then chose universal laws of justice. Also at this time, again, the elders are hiding except you. Please tell your co-worker to show up and guide poor Baha'is like me. First, they should teach me proper English and spelling. Okay. Where were the elders? I think I was in my diaper. I could have not come and guide anybody. This kind of question to say where were the elders and why God does not go with your plan and this and that, why did it tell him there was no elders? You have to ask God. But from what I see that has happened, everything has happened very reasonably, very properly. For example, in Kitab Abdu'l says that Baha'u'llah says, when I'm around, you have to give all your benevolences to me. If I am not around, it will go to branches, which is his son and family. Then it says, if the branches are not around, it goes to universal laws of justice. This just tells you that. In order for universal laws of justice has to exist, there can't be no branches left. So, hands of the cause of God, very smart. They knew. There are no branches left, therefore there has to be universal laws of justice. And it's appropriate to have a universal laws of justice which is, infallible to God. Well, universal laws of justice is infallible. Shoghi Effendi is infallible. Two infallibles on the ground doesn't work. It's said they can be at the same time, logically. But in reality, there's always one infallible on the ground. There's never two. Okay? When Abdu'l is around, then the Baha'u'llah must have gone. If Shoghi says, I am the guardian, there can't be no Abdu'l functioning in the office. Okay? At the time when Baha'u'llah is there, Abdu'l is not actually an interpreter of the writing officially. He's not. Only when Baha'u'llah goes, he is. So, there was no absent, therefore universal laws of justice had to be formed at 1963. And universal laws of justice made a training for the Baha'is. It says that, there are a few things you can do. He had a few hands of the cause of God and a couple of other persons, about 8 of them. He created an appointed international Baha'i council, by his own appointment, to do affairs, dealing with Israel, dealing with other issues. And he said that in a tablet, I think, in Julia Thompson. He says that this is the beginning of the universal laws of justice. This in turn, he says, from being appointed becomes an elected International Baha'i Council. Then it will turn into universal laws of justice. Hands of the cause of God, they did proper job. In 1961, they asked the Baha'is of the world to have the International Baha'i Council elected. So they did. I think even then there were some hands of the cause involved. But in 1963 they said now it's universal laws of justice, number of National Spiritual Assembly risen I think to 40 from whatever it was to bigger number. So at that time they said you cannot vote for us, hands of the cause of God. There can be only universal laws of justice. So there could not be any elders at that time. It's just simply too much work for the Baha'is to have both houses at the same time done. This baby of God had to grow up, had to practice to be the universal laws of justice. The necessity has to be felt. That's how God works. And then Shobi Effendi says, so far we do not know who these 5 others are. They were not around for him to choose. But it couldn't be his own successor, because he didn't have anybody, didn't want to. The fact that he didn't choose any successor allowed legally to have universal laws of justice to be formed. I told you, Baha'u'llah's writing when he says, I am not around, go to Abdu'l. Abdu'l is not around, go to universal laws of justice. So there was no Aqsan left, therefore universal laws of justice legally could be formed. Now the universal laws of justice came in 1963. Hands of the cause of God, they asked the universal laws of justice. Okay, universal laws of justice, what is the solution to the matter of guardianship? Rightfully, correctly, universal laws of justice says that we cannot legislate any laws to make it possible to have the second guardian of the cause of God, a successor, that is, for Shobi Effendi to be appointed. Neither we can do it ourselves. We are a different branch, they said. Right there you could see that universal laws of justice acknowledges they cannot do something. But then they said, sure, there is no universal laws, there is no guardian. It doesn't mean that people should disobey universal laws of justice. We have not recommended to anybody, any Baha'is in the world, to disobey the machine of God. No local, no national, and no spiritualist, national, universal laws of justice. I have brought few ideas that I am the elder of God because I've corrected the statement of universal laws of justice. That does not bring universal laws of justice down, people. It just tells you who am I. I am bigger in my knowledge. That doesn't mean they are not legitimate. Try to understand. If Baha'u'llah corrects Abdu'l Baha in one place, which he can, this doesn't mean Abdu'l Baha is not Abdu'l Baha now. This is very important, okay? That is not we ever said to anybody. Disobeying or saying to universal laws of justice should not be there or whatnot. We're just telling you that the mission of God is not just finished, that's all. So his second comment, he says that teach English to the poor people like me. All right, I'll tell you. Me and your uncle in India were doing very well. We have started to take a look at Book of Certitude in English and Persian. We put it together line by line and we learn English. If you are the one I'm thinking you are. So just simply take these writings. Take the obligatory prayer in Arabic and then in English, put word by word together. You learn the word in context. You learn the vocabulary of Shobi Effendi. And then you are no poor guy at all. You're interested in Baha'i faith. You're interested in answering things. You are a great individual, Farid. You know. So, 17 hours ago, that was 14 hours, 17 hours ago. So far, how many Baha'is after many years that you have voiced your idea, believe and support you? If you show just 10 people out of 6 million Baha'is in the world accepted your elder idea, I will follow you too. I don't know, when I put my Baha'i my website, in 2002, there was about 35,000 people went on the website right in Toronto area. 500-600 of them, they called me. I told all of them to just, cool it down and just go learn and talk to the other Baha'is about it. The new website, we set it up, it's about 5,000-6,000. In the YouTube, there's about 15,000-16,000. You tell me how many of them are real. I'll tell you many of them are. But nobody's fulfilling my standard though. Not yet, Farid. Except for one guy that simultaneously came and commented in his Baha'i Elder. He calls himself Baha'i Elder 18 hours ago. I don't know who this guy is. Is this the guy in Australia that I know of? I don't know. He is very smart. He sounds to be an elder. He just knows too much. Every answer he's giving me is very mature. Who is he? I'd like to know. Just Farid, read his comment. So, what happens is that the first people who believed in Bab, they became the letters of the living. The first people who believed in Jesus Christ, they became disciples. The first 5 people who believe and figure this out, like a stereogram in the writing, what the message of Shogi is. Shogi has written his will and testament in a stereogram. There's a picture into the picture. Rightful person finds it. I did. Elders, they find it. You mentioned other 2 elders? Yes, there's 2 other elders that I know of. There's some magnificent individual. They were authoritative figure at the time of Shah. They had meeting with His Majesty the King many times. They solved huge international problems. One of them had Baha'u'llah told him this is the tablet of Lohul Baha to him, and then he told him you will die at age 84. I know he's not 84 yet. Where he is, I don't know. We elders do not, order each other. The other one, much more knowledgeable than me in the matter of Islam and everything else, is Arabic. Magnificent individual. Twice he saw Baha'u'llah and was digging down about me. And he asked me that, if you are an elder, ask Baha'u'llah to tell me. I told him I cannot ask Baha'u'llah to do that. Please. Who am I to address Baha'u'llah? I can't. He heard you. If he wants to do it, he will. I let him go. I was disappointed at him. After a couple of months, he was crying, calling me back at the same house that I'm talking to you. And he said, I had a dream. A dream that a coffin was coming out, and in the coffin I was dead, and Baha'is were going to bury me, and he wanted to see me, and they told him, well, you can see him one more time when we take the coffin out. And all of a sudden Baha'u'llah shows up behind him, and he says to Baha'u'llah that this fellow was a young man, he was such a good person, sir, he loves you. Baha'u'llah told him in a dream, that's what he says, he's not so young, he's an elder. And then he put his hand like this and the coffin comes up. I got up and he told me Abbas knows the time. All the Baha'is were killing me, they were going to bury me, they followed me. So he was so serious, took the matter directly to the National Spiritual Assembly of Canada. He went and talked to one of them and says, guys, I'm an atheist, not even a Baha'i. But now I am, because this is the true elder of God. Can you believe a rational individual like him actually, he signed his signature, he's an elder of God, to affirm that. And they were so respectful of me that they said, well, we don't know much about Baha'i faith, but we know you're true, and they handed the affair to me, do what you need to do. Where they are, I don't know. So, other things. The House of Justice, another 18 hours ago. The House of Justice, this is the Baha'i Elder, I'm not going to comment about his comment. Whatever, 3 hours ago he sent another one. As a Baha'i, I can suggest or comment or bring new ideas to faith. Even I can interpret the writing the way I want and share with other Baha'is. You can say we need guardianship or women election to institution or elder's idea, and so on. But when you say, I am one of the 5 elders of Baha'u'llah, Baha'u'llah chose me, or we form guardianship institutions, so on, that is the problem. And I smell self-promotion of ego. Okay. I'm going to have to tell you, if you look at the writing, what has been said about the elders is actually not so elegant. Both ways. It fluctuates to be a Bab, the Bab himself as elder, and goes down to a point that Shoghi Effendi says the future guardians, which are elders, which he means 5 of them, he says, they could be infinitely inferior than Abdu'l Baha. My God, even mosquito is not infinitely inferior than Abdu'l Baha. Because mosquito as a mosquito shit. The shit of mosquito probably is less than the mosquito. Even that is not infinitely inferior. Infinitely inferior. You know what that means? This is what has been said about the elders. So it's not so glamorous. Secondly, if I was a smart, I'm a salesman, brother. I've sold 30 years in Canada. I know Canadian better than themselves. Any man who is a little bit of a smartness has, you know, he would not come and say, I'm an elder. That's a total stupidity to say this. And there was an objection towards me. Why did you say you're an elder? You're after ego. What ego? Are you kidding yourself, boy? I am leader where I'm in the company, a social structure. In the spiritual structure, you're coming as a friend to enjoy. Plus, there is no room for leadership of any individual. It's the universal laws of justice, assemblies, and so on. We have not written anywhere in the world, anywhere that the Baha'is, the elders are the leaders of the Baha'is. It's not much that told at all. They just bring the ideas. People accept it, take it to universal, la 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 la, they may get recognized. Or they may die and later on. You know, which man of God has ever been accepted by anybody in his time? That an elder to be an exception. So to say I'm an elder, you've accepted all the torment, all the torture for yourself. This is the last things I would have said to myself. I would have said I'm a son of a bitch is better than say I'm an elder of God. I despise it, mister. I hate this damn title. Because you don't know who I am. I am way beyond the casual mind of a human being. Tell me the truth. Elder. I'm just caring because Baha'u'llah is telling me to go and do it. I became a boss boy. Promotion among you? I swear to Baha'u'llah, his son fell off right from the roof and wood went into his chest. I swear to my own son, to my own daughter. If there's a job opening for a leader among the Baha'is and they offer $1 million, I refuse it. Not for the Baha'is. I'm not accepting leadership of certain areas. Not for the Baha'is. So, please, go look at the mirror. You have the ego and promotion in you, and look at the mirror. You're talking to yourself, you see? That's what Rumi says. If you spit at the mirror, you're spitting at yourself. I'm the mirror. You're seeing yourself in me. You think I'm you. What do you think? I have some kind of a suffering from achievement deficit disorder and I want to be leader of the Baha'is? Why the hell I want to assume such a despicable job? Okay. That I won't accept. I'm an elder. I accept to do my responsibility as a Baha'i, but if even Baha'u'llah tells me you're the elder of Baha'u'llah, I will tell him, Master, no! No! Go find somebody else. That I won't accept. I am that much bothered by you people, okay? Leadership of you? What? Okay. 4 hours ago. You claimed that you wrote a book about the Rumi when you were 19. I am really interested to read that book. I'm willing to pay for it. Please let me know where I can find it. Alright, look at the internet right now. There are some Persian ones. It says Masnavi of Suleiman Khan and Masnavi of Tahirat. Those are the two of those Masnavis I wrote. I didn't write anything about the Rumi. I said the fellow who was reading this and he gave me okay to print it, he said my Masnavis are so deep it seems like I'm the return of Rumi. I'm not claiming such a thing. I'm the student of Baha'u'llah. My writing is not comparable to Rumi. That's old school, old class. Okay? But if you read the Masnavi of Suleiman Khan that I've written and the Masnavi of Tahirat and 9 other Masnavi, which I have actually recited, is right into the website. And they're the books, Persian, it says Farsi. Look into that and you can see all those 9 Masnavis. Alright. Again, 4 hours ago, you said 3 of us met. Now you say, I don't know them. I did not say I don't know them. I know them. Of course I know them. I just don't know where they are. They're old. 80 years old, you can't walk very much, isn't it? Or 70. These guys are selfless, all right? They did something and they went and gone. They are the 2 legs. I'm the head. I'm walking on the legs. I need 2 hands to make the star of the 5. I do not have my hand. The 2 hands. This is where it's happening right now. Okay. So don't be confused. All right. Another one. You did not answer my question. Is there any support for your claim among the Baha'is? Yes, there are many. Not to my level that I wanted yet. Yes, there is many. That is not enough. My thing is too high. You have to be ready to die, or don't come here. And I'm not joking, okay? Because right now I'm safe. But as long as there are a few people come around and we go and do things seriously, we probably will die, you know. So let's not, you know, stop beating the bush, because that's what's going to happen. Okay. All right. He says another thing, you know, 4 hours ago was not required. He's referring to what I said, that the elders were not required to be there. He said, who decided that? God decided that they're not to be there. God decided I shouldn't be there. That time was the most important time in the Baha'i history. It was. But Baha'i faith goes one thing at a time. First is the Bab, goes, dies, then Baha'u'llah comes. Baha'u'llah comes, goes, dies, and then Abdu'l comes. Abdu'l comes, he goes, ascends, then Shoghi Effendi comes. Shoghi Effendi dies, then Universal Laws of Justice. Universal Laws of Justice has reached to its maturity that now the institution of guardianship has to emerge. One at a time, mister. They can't come, all of them at the same time. You're already confused. So, who decided God? No elected institution to God, just appointed individuals, and one of them wanted to be guardian. No elder is actually officially should be called guardian. He is elder, is not a guardian. They carry the responsibility of the guardianship. However, after the elders they die, which are 5 of them, there can't be no more elder, then the guardians again they come according to Shoghi Effendi. This time not by the Shoghi Effendi appointing them, but he says directly by Baha'u'llah and there. Like Rumi, like Hafiz, like Sa'di, like so many that has been Islam, the same people are all coming into the Baha'i faith and they're writing and their word inspires universal laws of justice. That's how it gets done. Okay? Decision by God. No, I do not want to be guardian. Ooh, no. I'm just an elder. Okay? Baha'i faith was very close to be divided and many sects to appear. Those imaginary elders should appear that time and guide after half a century. Okay, again, I told you that Shoghi Effendi says, so far we do not know who these 5 others are. One of them, he came and he said that, not that I'm an elder, because he was confused. He said that I'm actually the successor of Shoghi Effendi. This is what Mason Remy said. So Hands of the Cause of God says, you know what, we accept it, but where's the document? You yourself went into the room, Mr. Mason Remy, you were one of the 9 people. You said there's nothing to indicate that there's another guardian. Don't say I'm successor of Shoghi Effendi, because if you are, you have to have a document. If he said I'm an elder, they might have accepted it. He didn't say that. You see? Keep changing his mind. This poor fellow, please do not attack Mason Remy. It's proven that he was sick. Okay? He had mental problem. He was old. He didn't know what he was doing. There was nothing malicious on his behalf. He was trying to save the cause of God from what he thought, it's some kind of intuition. But nothing that was formulated could be good at that time anyways. So, let's go to another page. Okay. Okay, who are these 2? As a Baha'i, I have to know who they are. I have to examine their claim. He's talking about the other 2 elders. Sir, you are not allowed to examine them. They do not want to be examined. By the fact the person says, I'm a messenger of God, I'm an elder of God, you want to put him down so much. Can you go to say to a Baha'i, you want to examine a Baha'i that he's a Baha'i or not? Why do you think you can go and say somebody as an elder to examine him? Just say, I don't accept you. Examine him. What do you think he is? A toy for you? He has no claim over you. Has not said to anybody, hey, Baha'is, come and follow the elders of God. We didn't say that. We're just giving you free information. This is what the faith is. You have mind? Go ahead and find it for yourself. No, as a Baha'i, you do not have such authority over them or over me, or actually over any Baha'i or over even a non-Baha'i. 4 hours ago, I don't know who are we to allow election of 5 women is a decision that should be done by universal laws of justice, not you, not me. As a Baha'i, I present my idea to the institution with pure intention, and the rest is with them. Maybe in future and right time, universal laws will decide to allow the established many institutions like guardianship and so on. I heard there is in writing that the future the member of universal laws can increase 9 to 95 and whatnot. All right. My boy, listen good. Shoghi Effendi says, please go read for yourself. It's in Persian. It's called Dore Baha'i. In English, it's called the Dispensation of Baha'u'llah. Shoghi Effendi says there are 2 institutions. There are 2 pillars. Universal laws of justice, institution of guardianship. He says none of them can infringe or impose themselves upon the other one. They're not allowed to interfere in each other's business. This is something that universal laws of justice several times has said that. We cannot interfere in this matter. They said we cannot interpret, we cannot interfere, to even call a person guardian or not to call a person guardian. It's just not what universal laws of justice is. So universal laws of justice, anything it does, anything it elects, it will become a committee working under universal laws of justice. I don't have the writing with me, but Shoghi Effendi says in the dispensation of Baha'u'llah, the Baha'i dispensation, he says that each of these pillars, that's universal laws of institution, they have their own subsidiary institutions. Just like national, local, that works for universal laws of justice, there will be local house of elders, national house of elders, and the universal house of guardianship. And none of them can infringe. Infringe means putting your hand on somebody else's. They can't. They should not, it says. Never. So he says that there's a possibility. He says should not though. Okay? Poor universal laws of justice, every time they say that. We're not interpreter. They say that all the time. They said we're not guardian. Even you can't say that the hands of the cause of God are guardian. Universal laws of justice said don't say that. So don't think universal laws of justice can do everything. No. Universal laws of justice can legislate, bring the new laws, but they cannot know officially what is the meaning of the writings. What does it mean not to smoke? They are not allowed to say that officially. This is left for the other institution to do. So they both need each other, like mother and father, like a husband and wife. One is man, one is woman. Because the issue in the religions, they can become very specific. There could be a law made about masturbations. Many women may not feel comfortable to sit beside men to have such laws negotiated. Okay? That's why Baha'u'llah separated them. Because the matter of the religion is what? Personal sometimes, very private. So universal laws of justice cannot create anything tantamount to institution of guardianship, equal to. Alright, another one he says, 16 hours ago, I would like to declare that I am one of those elders. This is my first interpretation of the writing. Baha'u'llah came to free humanity from individual power on other people. Thank you, good interpretations. No more, I don't know what this word is. Rabbis, okay, no more rabbis, priests, mullahs, ayatollahs, elders, and so on. In the Baha'i faith, all decisions, interpretations, project, and so on should be done by the elected group of people that can be replaced every year. In case of universal, 5 years. So no more holy individuals. Yes, you are correct so far, your interpretations. But when somebody says I'm an elder, yes, many people can say I'm an elder. So what happens? You have to ask him, okay, what is your mission? What is it that we don't know? There are 7 million Baha'is. I brought a solution to the Baha'i faith among the Baha'is for the first time. How to do this? This has not been proposed by anybody else before in the manner I brought it in. This is why I'm an elder. An elder is supposed to want to be proven that he has certain scepter of knowledge that supersede anybody else in the earth. Universal laws of justice is a baby. Take him like Alexander. He's going to be the king. I am the Aristotle. I'm the teacher. But I am not your leader. I'm just the teacher of the child. Okay? So, what else here? So far, okay. Then, so I think I tried to answer some of your questions, but now we have this master individual called himself Baha'i Elder. You know what? There are other tests to be made. I'm not going to make those tests. For what you understand is that I told you what elder is for you. You have to ask yourself, this Mr. Elder, okay, we're Baha'is. Are there something we're missing? What is it that we don't know? And if for those who know what the problem is, to ask him what is the solution. You see? He has to bring a rational, logical solution from the writing. So don't simply say, I'm an elder, okay? This is not a kid's game. And you're saying it right now. Wait for the day I will be cut into pieces. Can you stand it, boy? Because I can, you know. There's a special training when you become an elder. There are 2 more elders to be found. But don't play with it. I don't know who the other 2 are. I know the seats are there. We can sit on it, say I am. But the immediate question is that there are 3 other elders. They've decided, majority of the 5, this is it. What is your contribution? You have to take this matter out. It seems that is not my capability. The other 2, they don't have that. They didn't have that capability. They could be a part of it so we can legally formulate it. But that's their job is done. That's their legs. Hands is the one that hands it out to everyone. If you are one of them, go ahead. And then, I've seen 2 more of your things here. It says, I can see on your video in background you have a nice living room. Why not to open your door for the Baha'is and non-Baha'is and neighbors and co-workers to come to your home for the cup of Persian tea and start devotional meetings in the Ruhi class and deepening and so on. Share your knowledge to inspire people. There are many people who are sad, broken, jobless. Be the spiritual helper. These people do not need endless argument about elders, guardianships. Well, Farid, you're welcome anytime to come here. A lot of other people, they come here. As you can see, this is in a small apartment with 2 bedrooms in it. And there's other parts that people are renting here, rooms with me. Yes, I have helped thousands of people. Non-Baha'is, Baha'is, Canadians. 10 of those guys in Thunder Bay, they have their own businesses. I put them on. I basically gave them the way to do business. One of them is Sirus. He came, 12 years ago. At Thunder Bay. He called me from long distance, said, I heard you're a generous man, can you come and help me out to do business, wah, wah, wah. Anyways, he came down, they tried to help him out. He couldn't do work, but he became a salesman. He comes down here. Before he leaves in Thunder Bay, told me that, Mr. Temuri, I heard a dream that Baha'u'llah has become a contractor in the city of Guelph. I told him this is a sort of very specific dream. This is going to happen. I don't know when. 10 years, 12 years passes, and I'm back in British Columbia. And I came down here. I talked to Tawheed. His decision was that Guelph is better because he lives in Kitchener. Creates less this and that. I studied. I found, okay, we'll go to Guelph. There are a lot of Italians here. And I came here. And one day in the street he saw me. He says, wow. And all of a sudden, we remember the dream. I said, right. Sirus, did you remember the dream you had? He says, yeah. I told him, what do you think it means? His face turned like labu, beetroot red. He didn't know. I thought there's no other contractor here, I guess. It is me. I am manifesting the power of Baha'u'llah with a reference to what has to be done right now, okay? He had a dream. Well, how much more God can tell to somebody, eh? And he still didn't accept it. But even if he did, I'd tell him, I don't need you. Just say nothing, go away. So, what else you have said here? Allahu Akbar, it says, finally, after the World War I said to the leaders of the Europe that they have tried many war among their nations. Why don't you try peace for a few years? If the result was bad, again they can go back to war. Now, Mr. Temuri, you tried all these elders, women guardianship videos and finding of mistakes of universal laws of justice and many letters to NSA and so on. What was the result? Why not you try other things for a while? If the result was bad, you can go back to the old approach and make hundreds of videos. Oh my God. I'm 56 years old. The last days, of my life. And it might extend a few years if there's something else to do. I have not created no war with anybody. Let it be clear. Very first time when this matter came and Abdu'l told me, I'm one of the elders, I have to do something about it, I wrote a letter to the Universal House of Justice. I did not send it to National. I didn't discuss it with anybody. And it wasn't just me. There were few others, including Dorsadov, including Mustafa, including Izzat Rouhani, including Tawhid. They all knew about these things. So they knew about it. I wrote the letter to Universal House of Justice. I told them this is what happened. It seems to me that we should have this going, That's all. And I told them, whatever your decision is. I actually begged them. I tell them, all I need is one word. Say, Mr. Temuri, you are not an elder. God, I would be happy. I'm going to let go. Baha'u'llah knows I knew them. I'll go. Can you please do that? Mr. Qadirian came. And I brought this letter to him. I told him, you see, they say that, tell to Mr. Temuri he is misguided about the elders. That's what the letter of Universal House of Justice. I told him they're saying that I am misguided about the elders. They don't say I am not an elder. That's just they say I made a mistake. Okay, whatever. What is the mistake? He said there should be 4 elders. I told him, I'm sorry, there should be 5. He said, why? And I explained this before. I proved it to him that one of the old letters of the living was cast off. He became the enemy of Baha'u'llah and was replaced by another one. So still there's 5 left, especially Shoghi Effendi says there's 5. So I'm not misguided, I said, I guess. But it doesn't matter. The letter doesn't say I'm not an elder. Mr. Qadirian, I beg you. I have 2 kids. I have family. I have my books just about to get printed. This is a huge, problem. I'm a Baha'i teacher, anything I could do, but this means war. Please, just say to Universal House of Justice, release me, please, release me. Just say that I am not an elder and I will take a hike. In writing, I said to them. In my video, I said to them, I will. They didn't say that. So do not underestimate Universal House of Justice and their wisdom. There are reasons why they didn't, okay? Or why they couldn't. So they didn't. So I came back. I saw 9. That's what comes from the National. Who has spread the matter to the National? Themselves. This Councillor Qadirian did. National didn't know about that. And National, of course, sent a letter to me that, Mr. Temuri, you're sick, you're psychotic. You need therapeutic, a doctor. I said, how can I go to a doctor, tell them that I'm an elder, this or the reason, they say I'm crazy, I need to go to... He says that, I'm not going to say you're crazy because of that. So how am I going to go to a specialist in Canada to tell them that I need therapeutic or to forget the matter of elders? What do I need to do that to forget it? I said, you see, you're so childish. Even what you ask is crazy. You bimbos. So, nevertheless, the matter went on. I came here with Lisa. I went to the National Spiritual Assembly office. I told them, this is me, this is Lisa, we want to marry. I wrote a letter to National Spiritual Assembly, to Universal House of Justice. I have no qualm. Let it stay there. Whenever an answer came. At this time, they're not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. The guy said to me that, you're a pretty honest guy. I said, well, there's no cookies in this. And then he said, okay, let me talk to National. They talk over and they come back and they said the same thing. Same letter that they sent before. That I gotta go to psychiatric help and this and that. So, and that's it. They brought the matter up themselves. I didn't. After 14 years in Guelph, I have not spoken to one of the Baha'is here. I don't give them the time of the day, to be honest with you. You think I'm so cheap? You can just call me and come over? No. Not that easy, brother. I'm an expensive guy if you want to entertain yourself. If you're looking for a truth, that's a different story. The truth is that you have to listen to your national, your local, if you believe in them, and don't contact. I've said what I've said on the video on the YouTubes for mankind, and I'm going to go away. That's it. I didn't make these wars to nobody. But your final word, he says that take another approach. I am Farid. I was going to do it in this video, I'll have to do it in the next video. I am quitting. That's it. You want me now, you're going to have to beg for it. I am out. And I'm going to tell you why am I quitting too. So I'm done with your question because you have too many questions. However, there's this gentleman here, or gentlewoman, who knows, but I know it's a man. It says Baha'i Elders, astonishing fellow. He has some pretty good answers, sharp one too. 18 hours ago, you know, he just brought these few things here. I think I have, let's see. "18 hours ago. He's answering. The House of Justice, however, according to the explicit text of the law of God, is confined to men, meaning in gender. This, for the wisdom of the Lord God's, which will ere long be made manifest as clearly as the sun at the high noon." This is the word of Abdu'l. So he says at the end, beautifully, so use your rational mind and you can grasp that this house of guardianship is the fulfillment of this. Bravo. Bravo. Finally, somebody getting the message. It's fermenting, isn't it? Next one. He's answering this, you Farid. Sure, asking if there is anybody. There's one right there. Go look at him. His answers are indisputable. Only as women are welcome into the full partnership in all field of the human endeavor will the moral and the psychological climate be created in which international peace can emerge, including the highest level of the global government in Baha'u'llah's world order. Wow. There is no other way. His answer is dead on. Again, 18 hours ago he says. The House of Justice, okay, this is said now, yes, a couple of them, he did it 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago. Oh, it's beautiful. He says there's a catch here. The House of Justice cannot infringe on the House of Guardianship or interpret the writing. So who else can set it up? There is no want of the personal power, no self-promotion, no ego when it comes to this mission. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Really, there is no ego in this. There can't be. There's nothing to have. Only the goal of the creating the elected institution of guardianship made out of women for the betterment of the world. Once it is running, the job, once it's running, the job is done. Yes. You know, we have in the Baha'i faith many, ages and epochs and eras. One of the formative ages, if you know. Once the institution of guardianship, I should say the universal laws of guardianship, once it's come into appearance, the Baha'is accept it, the formative age is ended. right now we're still in it. The appearance of the elders is actually the beginning of the second part of the formative age, and there are phases. First is this international institution of guardianship comprised of the elders, which I wanted to be replaced by some appointed people by the elders to continue the job, telling to the Baha'is what to do and guide them through till whatever it comes after that, till the last phase, which is the election of the 5 Baha'i female to the universal house of guardianship, and then the formative age is done. Just one point here, I might add. And another one is a very good answer to those questions. It says God did. The hands of the cause did their job beautifully. Yes, they did. Creating the universal laws of justice. The covenant breaker set precedent for the future. Everything that has happened was meant to happen. The Baha'i faith in its embryonic form has spread across the globe, but it is still in its embryonic form. Who can interpret the writings to bring it from the religion that is to be global governing body it is destined to be, and not the house of justice? They cannot interpret, so it must be the elders. There is no doubt. There is no doubt. This is the doctrine of the faith. The only question remains, really, is that whether you, Abbas Temuri, are you an elder or not? Number one is that my writing in Persian, none, I claim to you, none from the beginning of the Persian poetry, which are 1 million lines and bytes have been written. Even the Baha'is, none can match it. Take it to the non-Baha'is, Muslims, tell them what you think of these writings. And it's written by me when I was 17 and 18. 19. The last one was when I was 35. Which is really, in a way, and poetically, is said what I have said in English to you in 400 hours that I spoke to you. Deep subjects and arithmetic. Nobody has brought 3 rhymes in writings. I have. And my father, Baha'u'llah, he has 3 rhymes in 1 line. After him, I'm the one. There's nobody else in Persian literature. If one of the reasons that a man is from God is his writing, well, that's my things to you. Secondly, I've lived a life with a lot of tumultuous situations in my life. I've been tested thousands of times, including this one by Baha'is. They try to frustrate me or something. Guys, please, get off your high horses. Do you know where I belong? Immediately as soon as I die, I will fly over an entire planet. I fly over all the galaxies. I go in the center of the earth. I go in the center of the sun. Only for a while. It's nothing interesting, really. And when you die, you're in a hospital setting, you go up and open your eyes and say, where am I? The nurse comes and says that you're here. Where is this? Say, well, and suddenly they make it to happen. Somebody who's dead passed by you and you say, oh gee, he's dead. Wait a minute. Then I must be dead. And they tell you, are you? You say, no, I'm not dead. I'm okay. Where was I? Was it a dream? Yeah. They said, look behind the glass. The people you know, they're sleeping. When they wake up, they come from there here. And then if you don't have your passport, you only go where you want to go. Nobody sends you anywhere. But if you're a Muslim, you're going to go to Muslim period. Christian, you go to Christian, to Baha'is, you go to Baha'is. to begin to be a person. 99% of the people who die, they are not human life, meaning they can't think. They never thought about that life. They never thought about spirituality. They have no brain, basically. They're like birds. Some of them are like vegetables. Others, they stink like hell, that no one even can go to them, billions of kilometers away. Ugh. So filthy. Those who have a life, still are human, they have ordinary life, just like here. And then there are some that they fly, they come down sometimes and go. If I know that, why would I want to be here? You tell me. Am I out of my goddamn mind? What is it here? Matrix? I know where it is, that I have to go. But I can't push it. I can't suicide. What I want to do there is exactly what I want to do here anyways. It matters to me that our Father, Baha'u'llah, is happy, The soul production is down. We have to have soul in order for him to talk to us. It's lonely. He can't talk to a stone. He has to be intelligent. And there has to be a spiritual enough. So, I can't tell you all the secrets. You don't need to know. So, this gentleman called himself Baha'i Elder. Well, sir, if you say you are, I already accept it. I don't know, how old are you? I'm glad. I'm looking badly for some replacement. I have to hand you a lot of things before I go. A lot of things. Writings, this and that and that. I have to hand it to you. And if you like, just call on the numbers. My cell phone answers them. If I'm not around, I will talk to you. Farid, you're welcome to come here anytime you want. Anybody can call me at any time.